and welcome you all to another chapter of building website using Python. So now this is the chapter number 3 where I'll be building a simple website using Streamlit. Okay, so I'll be explaining you guys from the very beginning of create a simple website using Streamlit over here, and we will also use Python in the process. So let's not waste much time and let's get started. Over here, as you guys can basically see, this is actually the home page, or let's say just the monitor of my PC. And over here, I'll be teaching you guys how you can actually create a website using Streamlit. Okay, but before that, the first thing what we need to do is we need to learn how to actually save up the documents for the file. Okay, so if you do want to create a separate file, let's say I will just name this one as Streamlit 1. Okay, so I'll just name this particular folder, and inside that Streamlit 1 folder I will be creating a new folder. Let's go to new, let's click on folder, and I will just change it to large icons. Let's go with dot Streamlit. Okay, so I will just create this particular folder which is dot Streamlit, and I will also create another folder, and I will basically name that particular folder as assets, and the next folder as styles. And over here now let's create up a new folder, and this one I will be naming as Streamlit underscore application dot py. Okay, so once I create this particular folder, or let's say if you just come here, if you want to basically create something new instead of a folder, you guys can also do that. Here basically for the file which I have created, which is streamlit.application.py, let me just delete this particular folder. Instead, what I'll do is I will just right click on my screen, and I'll just click on show more options. Let's click on new, and I will specifically take a text document. Okay, so let's type streamlit underscore application dot py. Okay, click on yes, and as you guys can already see that this particular file has already been changed into a Python file. Okay, and the same way again, what I'm gonna do is right click, let's click on show more options, let's go to new. From here let's go to text document, and now I will be typing over here as my requirements. So I will just type my requirements over here, and this is just the outline of how you are going to set before you start working. You can name your folder as you like, as you wish to. Okay, and now The next thing what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to go inside the DOS Streamlit folder, and here as you guys can see I will just keep all these things quite like this. I won't try to change anything as well, but first I will just go to .streamlit file. Let's go to this particular folder, let's right click, let's click on show more options, let's go to new, let's go to new text document. Now I will just choose some large icons. Now let's rename this thing. Okay, so I will just come here and I will just type config dot toml. Okay, so it's called toml. Okay, so I will just create this particular folder. Okay, make sure to put toml, and we will work with this later. I will just keep this particular thing inside the streamlit folder. Okay, just remember in which places I'm putting what all folders. So if you do those accordingly, it will be a lot easy for you to create a particular website within minutes. Okay, so we have already created this config.toml file. What we can basically do right over here is if you want to give your background some different colors, or not only background, maybe the secondary colors what you want to use. Okay, actually, like if you do want to save out a theme. Okay, so if you don't have a theme, you guys can just go on to your Google and basically search for different kind of themes, and you will have a lot of options from which you guys can actually check from. Okay, for me what I'm gonna do right over here is I am gonna come here and I'm going to actually show you guys how you can actually write some theme. Okay, so you guys can just come here and you guys can actually check over here that they do have these colors used throughout Streamlit application. Okay, so these are few of the color codes, and I'll also show you how you can use those color codes. Let's right click, let's click on open, and over here now you guys will be able to see that how it actually works. Okay, so let's come here and I'll just open out this bracket. Let me just type theme. uh, let's click on enter, and if I just type, let's say I will just type out a comment. Okay, so I just want to save this one as primary color for interactive elements. And now if I just come down and if I just type primary color underscore, or let's go with color. Now I will just put that double quote over here. And what I'm gonna do is I can just come here in my Google and I can just take any color from here according to my liking. Okay, so if I just go with this white color, or let me just go with this red color, Control C to copy, and I will just click on Control V. Let's close down this double quotation, and simply like this you guys can mention that what color you are looking for right over here, and search for that particular color code, and you guys can print those things accordingly. The same way, if you want to change the background color, you guys can also change out the background color as well. Okay, so if I just come here and let me just save a background color. Okay, so I will just go with background color. Let's come down over here. Let's click on enter, and now let's type background color, and I'll just come here, double quote, and let me just put on some white colors itself. Okay, so let's come here and uh, let me just go with this one. Control C. Let's come here and Control V. Let's go on with the double quote, and now Control S to save it. Okay, so this particular file is being saved. And if you don't want to use any kind of theme as well, there is no use. Like if you don't want to use it, there is nothing as such that you have to have a theme. You might not have as well, but still you can create up a website. And this is done. Once I am done creating config.toml file, now I will just go back, and over here now I can just put out different Lottie animation. Okay, so I do have downloaded this particular animation right over here. Let's go to desktop. Let's go to my resource file and Streamlit 1. I will just go to assets and I will just download, or I will just cut it right over here. So let me also show you that how you guys can actually download that. So if I just come here and over here, if I just type Lottie files, here you guys can see there is a website known as Lottie files. So make sure to come here into this particular app or this particular website, and from here you need to make sure that you log in using your Gmail account. It is actually free to download. Let's say if I want to download any kind of a car animation, let's say, okay, for my website. So in that case, here they'll be showing you guys different kind of animation from which you guys can choose from. Let's say I like this particular animation. So I'm just going to click on this particular animation, and now I will just click on download from here. So it might take some time, totally depends on your net speed and on your PC. And once you're done with this particular part, make sure to download the JSON file of this. Okay, so I will just click on download, and here you guys can see the animation is basically being downloaded. So let's go to downloads, and here you guys can see the animation. Let's cut it. Let's go to desktop. Let's go to the resource file, Streamlit 1. Let's go to assets, and I will just close this down right over here. So now let's go back, and after that let's go to this styles folder, and after going to styles folder, let's right click, let's click on show more options, let's click on new, and from here I will just click on new text document. And after that, over here, I am going to create up a file known as style.css. So I will, and as you guys can see, now this particular file has been changed to a style.css file. Okay, so over here, if you want to add any kind of design, so I will just write some simple stuff, which is main menu. Okay, so I'm just creating out a comment at first. Let's go with curly braces, and I will just type visibility is going to be hidden. Okay, so visibility is going to be hidden. Let's click on enter, and also I want a header. Okay, so for that I will just type header. Now let's open out the curly braces, And after that, let's type visibility hidden. So this is basically done. Control S to save it. So once this is done as well, let's click on Control S to save it. Control S to save it. And now let's minimize this one. Okay. So the Streamlit is done. I have downloaded the assets, and also I have actually created a folder or a text file. Okay. So a CSS file in my styles option. Now the next thing what is left here is I will just go to this my requirements text box. Okay, so inside this particular notebook, I will put whatever I basically need to create this particular website. So I can just resize this as well. So I will just place it right over here, and I'm just going to type Streamlit double equal to 1.29.0. Let's click on enter. Streamlit underscore extras double equal to 0.36, or you guys can type 0.3.6. Now let's type Streamlit underscore Lottie, then 0.0.5. So Control S to save it, as you guys can see. So I will just close this one, and you guys can see this particular text file has basically been written. So for working in Streamlit, we basically need Streamlit. So for that, I do have this command, which is Streamlit 1.29.0. And now after that, we do have Streamlit Extras and Streamlit Lottie. So Streamlit Extras and Streamlit Lotties are for the animation which I have downloaded from the Naughty files. Okay, so from that Lottie files, basically it will help you to run that particular animation inside your website. Okay, so that is quite important. So I can just close this one down, but after that I will just right click, and from here I can just go to uh, any command prompt. Okay, so from that particular command prompt, if you want to see more option, you guys can just click on show more option. So now let's come and let's right click, let's click on show more options, and now I will just open this particular thing over here inside the terminal. Okay, so in this particular terminal, what I'm gonna do is I am going to type pip install /r, then I will just type my folder name, which is my requirements.txt, and if I just click on enter, here now you guys will be able to see that it will just install all the things which you have given command in this particular text file. So here you guys can see it is actually downloading Streamlit, it is downloading all the numpy and whatever command is basically needed. Okay, so let's just wait for some time. Totally depends on how long does it take to install all the files. So you can just wait for it. Otherwise, you can just do your other works, let's say downloading your animations and thing. Okay, so you guys can actually do that right over here. So once you are done, okay, like once you're done working with all of this thing right over here, so now I will be opening up my Python file. Okay, and after uploading or after opening up the streamlit underscore application dot the Python file, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to import everything. Let's say from pathlib import path. Then I will also import JSON. Okay, so I will import JSON file. Let's click on enter, and I will also import Streamlit as st. Then from Streamlit, as I'm working with this third party, Streamlit underscore Lottie, import st underscore Lottie. Okay, so now let's click on enter, and now I will just type from Streamlit underscore extras dot let underscore it underscore rain. So this is basically an animation kind. So I want to import this as rain. So now over here, as I do have imported these things, I will just write a comment. And in this particular comment, I'll be now setting in all the directories. Okay, so directories and the file paths. Okay, so I will just add the directories and all the path of the file which I am going to include in my website. So the first one, I will name this one as this underscore dir is equal to path. Let's open parenthesis. Now I will just come here underscore underscore. Then I will just type file underscore underscore. Then I will just put dot uh, parent. Now let's click on enter, and let's click on enter right over here again. Let's type css underscore file. Okay, so where I do have added my css file. Okay, so over here under assets, you guys can see that I do have this particular animation. So let's decrease the size as well right over here. And under styles, I do have my style.css. Okay, so I will just come here and I will just add the file location. Okay, so the name of the folder is styles, and under this we do have style.css. Yeah, styles and style.css. So css file equal to this dir, which is this directory. Then I will just put out slash. Now let's give it out a space double quote to open this one, and the file name was styles. Then I will just come here. Let's give it up the space. And again, I will just open up the slash. And under styles, I do have named the file as style dot css. Okay, so as the css part is actually done, so now as this is done, okay, so let's come here, let's click on enter. Now the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to type assets. Okay, so assets, then I will put equal to, and over here also I'll just do the same. Let's put on the equal to, so I'll just put equal to over here. And over here also I can check where my assets folder is. But before that, let's come here and I will just type this directory. Okay, so I will just type this directory space slash. Let's open up the double quote, and over here I do have named my file as assets, or let's check the spelling over here. Desktop, the resource file, Streamlit1, ASSETS. Okay, so I will just type ASSETS. So this is the folder name. Let's click on enter. And from here, now I will add the Lottie animation, which was the JSON file, if you guys have remember. So as I'm just putting this particular animation inside the web as well, I need to make sure that I do add the directory and the file path because I do want to upload it initially. Okay, so I will just name this one as Lottie animation. So let's go with Lottie underscore animation equal to assets. Okay, so I will just take this same assets over here. This is the consent. Okay, so assets slash, let's open out the double quote, and I'm going to name this one as car underscore animation dot json. Okay, so let's come over here. Now I will just type car underscore animation dot json. So as this part is actually done, now let's go down. I have added the directory and the file path of all of those. Now the next thing what you're going to do is you need to make a function to basically display the animation. So for that, what you are going to do, okay? So the first thing what you'll do is function to load and display, or function to display Lottie animation. Okay, so this is going to be a comment, and underneath I will be doing the coding. So before any kind of function, we do mention the def function. So I'll just type def, and now I need to make sure that what kind of name I'm going to give it to this particular function. So let me just give which I'll be able to remember, which is load Lottie underscore animation. And after that, inside the parenthesis, I am going to put out file underscore path. Okay, so I'm just going to add this file underscore path. Now I will just open this colon. Now let's click on enter and I will just type with open. Let's open parenthesis and now I will just type file underscore path, comma. Let's open the double quote and I will just put R over here. Now let's come here and I want to import all of these things. Let's come outside of this bracket and let's give it up a space as if. Then I'll just close it down with colon. Now let's click on enter again. And after that, I do want to return JSON dot load. Okay. So this is basically my command. Okay. So over here, the function to display the Naughty animation is first you have to mention the name of the function and after that you are giving the directory as well, which is file path. And it will basically open using the file path, which is R right over here. So it will take it as S. And I want it to return the JSON file as loaded. And over here, I do have the name as well, which is F. Okay. So that is also done. Okay. And from here, now, the next thing what I'm going to do is if you want to apply any kind of effect, okay? So for the effect, now let's come here and let's go down. And after going down, let's come here. And I'm just going to add another comment, okay? And from this particular comment, I am going to apply effect. Okay, so let's apply a simple effect right over here. You can apply any kind of effect as you like. So let's go to apply effect. And for that, I will just type the name or I will just apply the function and I'll just name this one as the snow animation. Okay, so I want a snow animation. So I will just put run underscore snow underscore animation. Okay, so let's go with that. And after that, let's open parenthesis. And now I will just close the colon. And now what I'm gonna do is I am going to explain that how this is going to be. So I'll just put on rain. Let's open parenthesis right over here. And after that, I will just type emoji equal to. And now if you want to put out an emoji from your laptop or your PC, just type Windows and full stop all together. And here you guys will have a lot of option for your emojis. Okay, so let's come here. And if I just type snow, here you guys can see I do have all of these options. Okay, so from here now I can just take this, otherwise take this. Okay, so I will just put this one right over here, this particular emoji. Let's put out a comma as well, and also I can explain that what is going to be the font size. Okay, so font size equal to 15, or let's go with 18, comma, then I will just type falling speed equal to 4, comma, animation underscore length. Okay, so this is the animation length. Let's open the double quote and over here now I will just type infinite. So as you guys can see now, I have selected this particular function which is runs to animation. And here inside this, I have explained that what is going to be the emoji of this particular function, what is going to be the size of the font, and what is going to be the falling speed of these particular emojis, and the length of the total animation. So all of these things are done. Okay. And after that, now I am going to use a function to get any name from the parameter. Let's say I do have my web page and I want to display someone's name. So in that case, how I'm going to do that? Okay. So for that, now let's come down over here. Let's click on enter. Let's click on backspace. And from here now, I will just put slash, or I'll just put out the hashtag over here. And now I'm just going to go with function to get name. Okay, so I will just type function to get the name. Let's click on enter. And now let's start the function. So def to define a function. And over here, I will just type getting underscore person underscore name. And now let's open up the code right over here. Let's put out the colon as well. Now let's click on enter. Okay, so I will just click on enter. And now I will just type query underscore parameter. Okay, so this is the query parameter, which I'm going to tell that that is equal to st dot experimental get query params. So I'll just take this, and now I will just open parenthesis, and after that I will just click on enter. In that particular case, I do want it to return me query underscore paramas dot get double quote name comma. Now let's go out with the square bracket double quote. And now if nothing is being put, let's say in my website, if no name is being put, it will automatically show friend. Or let's go with mate. Okay, so you can also call it mate. And after that, I do have the parenthesis right over here. And after this one, I will also open out a square bracket, and I don't want it to repeat again and again. Okay, so I will just put on 0 times right over here. So as this is done now, I have actually applied the effect over here. I have also shown that how you can actually display the Lottie animation. I have added the directories. So now the next thing which is left is over here. Basically, I need to put out the page configuration, like what all I want it to write and what are the things that will be present inside my page. Okay, so for that, now let's come here. So I'll just type pg config. Okay, so now let's click on enter. And now I am going to type st dot set underscore page underscore config. As you guys can see right over here, I do have this particular function. And now let's open parenthesis right over here, and I will just type page underscore title. So page underscore title is equal to happy journey. Okay, so let me just type happy journey right over here. And this particular thing, I need to make sure that I put those things inside out a double quote. Okay, so now let's put out a comma. Now let's give it out a space. So page underscore icon equal to, let's go with double quote, and I can also put out some other emojis as well. So Windows and full stop. And over here, I do have a lot of this as well. So from here, let's say I will just take this particular icon. Okay, so I will just take this particular icon right over here. Okay, so this is the page icon. And now as page configuration is also done, now let's go with slash. And after that, I will also run this particular animation, or the animation which I had over here, the snowfall animation. I want it to run as well. Okay, so over here now I will just put running the snowfall animation. Let's click on enter. So I will just go with run underscore snow underscore animation. Let's close this thing down. And after that, once this is done, I will just type slash, and I am going to apply some of the custom CSS, applying CSS files. Okay, so I will just name this one over here, applying CSS files. Let's come down. And from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go with open. So as you guys can see, already I do have this directory over here. And also I do have the path and stuff right over here as well. So as I'm going to apply this CSS file, so I'll just type with open. Let's open parenthesis. And now I am going to type CSS underscore file as f colon. Let's click on enter. st dot markdown. Let's open, and now I will just type f. Then I will just put out the double quote right over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to open a tag, which is going to be the styles tag. Okay, so I will just go with styles. So let's put styles, and after that I will just close this particular tag, and let's come right over here, and I will just open out the curly braces. F dot read. Let's open out the parenthesis, and afterwards, once you come right over here, I will just open the tag again, but now I will just put out a slash, and then I will just type styles. Let's close this thing down, and afterwards let's put a comma, and now I will just put unsafe underscore allow underscore HTML. So make sure to put out this condition Okay, because I'm just turning this one into a HTML file. So let me just go with true. Okay, so just apply true right over here. And as this is done, lastly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and now I'm going to display header with some personalized name. Okay. So if you want to apply some personalized name right over here, you guys can actually do that. Okay. So now let's come here and I will just name this one as personalized name. Let's come down and I will just type person underscore name equals to get underscore person underscore name. Now let's come down. As you guys can see, let's come down right over here. And now st dot header. Let's open out if, then I'll just put on the double quote. And what I'm gonna do is I will just type happy journey, comma, the double quote. Then I will just type person underscore name. Then let's come here. And after that, if you want to add any emojis, you guys can also uh, put on some emojis. So I'll just put Windows and plus. Let's type car. Okay, so I will just add this particular car over here. Now let's close this thing down. And now I am going to put out a comma. Okay, so let's come over here and let's put out this double quote from here. So I'll just take this double quote right from here and I'm going to put the double quote somewhere around here. Okay, so this kind of fulfills. And afterwards, after putting on a comma, let's put on a comma, I'm going to just type anchor equals false. So I'll just put false right over here. And after putting on false, now let's close this thing down. Okay, so I'll just close this thing down as well. So now the last thing which is left is that I want to display the animation. Okay, so I will just type the heading as displaying the animation. Now let's come right over here and I will just type Lottie animation. Okay, so let's go with Lottie underscore animation equal to load Lottie animation. Okay, so I will just put this load Lottie animation. Now let's open the double quote right over here and I will just type Lottie underscore animation. Okay, so now let's click on enter. So let's go with st underscore Lottie. Okay, now let's open this parenthesis and let's go with Lottie underscore animation key equal to Lottie slash holiday, and then I will just put out a comma, and I can also choose the height. Okay, so let's go with height, and I will just give 320, let's say. Okay, so I'll just put on 320 right over here. So here now I am basically done with this particular file. Control S to save it. Now you can just have a new terminal right over here, and if you just run this one, okay, so over here if you run this one, here you guys can see that in line 42 in module, here you do have a problem. Okay, so over here you guys need to make sure that you change the things what you need to change. As you guys can see, person name equals to get underscore person underscore name. Okay, so where is line 42? Okay, so this is the line where it actually does have a problem. So once everything is done, you guys can just save it using Control S. And also, like, lastly, if you want to just give any uh, personal message, okay, so you can come here and you can also personalize message. So hashtag personal message. Let's click on enter. Let's go with st dot markdown. Let's open parenthesis. Then I will just type F, then double quote. Let's go with dear. Then I will just write the parameter, which was person underscore name. Let's come here. Let's put out a comma. And I will just type I wish a great trip to you and your family. Let's say family. Okay, so I will just apply this right over here. And you can also add a emoji as well if you want to. Okay, so once this is done, I can just click on Control S to basically save it. Otherwise, you can just come right over here, and from here now let's click on enter, and after that let's come over here. Let's click on enter as well. Control S to save it, and this is the line. Okay, so if you do want to run it, let's open out a new terminal and let's try to run this one. And here it shows that there is some problem in line 47. Okay, so over here I do have this key, Control S, and let's run this one. And this one kind of works good, as you guys can see. Streamlit run, and here 6 website using Python resource file. And from here now, as this is done, I will again go to my power panel right over here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to type Streamlit run Streamlit underscore application dot py. Okay, so let me just check out the spelling. Is it correct or not? Streamlit underscore application dot py. Streamlit underscore application dot py. Streamlit underscore application dot py is basically correct. So once this is done, now let's come here and let's click on enter. And as you guys can see here, it is showing me that if you'd like to receive helpful onboarding emails, news, offer promotions, and occasional swag, please enter your address. Otherwise, leave the field blank. So I'll just click on enter. As you guys can see, they are also giving me this kind of summary. Okay, so here you guys can see it is showing me a bad message format. Okay, I can actually change it later. Okay, no problem with that. As you guys can see, and you guys can just change it. And here as it already shows. Okay, so happy journey mate, I do have it here. I do have my animation, and also you guys can see that over here I do have the animation of those emojis as well. Okay, so if I just open this whole thing up, this is how it shows. And also over here I do have the message as well. Okay, so if you want to come here and if you want to change this, okay, you guys can do that. But now if I come here on top and if I just type any uh, parameter name, let's go with name equal to Jacob. Okay, so if I just type Jacob, and here now, as I click on enter, let's close this thing. And now here it shows that happy journey, Jacob. And also over here, it says that dear Jacob, I wish a great trip to you and your family. So both these formats are kind of different. So this is how you guys can actually build up a particular website the same way I did. So now this particular website is basically only for view and I only do have the access. So if you want to publish it and if you want to deploy it, first you have to go to GitHub and you have to manually upload this one. Okay. So for that, what you guys can do is I'll show you guys how to do it from VS Code. Let's go to VS Code and I'll just go to the source control option and I will just click on initial repository. Okay, so I will just come here and I'll just comment. Okay, uh, I will just really like to stage all your changes and commit them directly. Uh, and I will just click on yes, dot name and username. Make sure you configure your user dot name and user dot email in Git, and I'll just come here and I will just open this one, and from here basically I can just put out my email and username. Okay, so let's just come here and I will put the number. So now over here basically you need to come here and basically comment it. Okay, so go to the source control panel. From here, comment the changes which you have made. Make sure to add this with your GitHub. And once that is done from GitHub directly, you guys can open your website, which will be available. Okay, so this is the kind of website. If I just come here and instead of Jacob, let's type Mary. And if I just click on enter here, you guys can see now it shows happy journey, Mary. And also here shows dear Mary, I wish a great trip to you and your family. So this is how easily you guys can actually create up a website using Streamlit and also using Python. So, yeah, I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we're going to learn more about building website using Python. So take care, everyone. See you all in the next chapter.